Well, let's just take a quick break.
Fight break.
The commercial. What's a commercial break, Taylor? Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to Drink, Talk, Learn today. I will be sharing with you the top 10 mistakes in the kitchen. So, whether you're just learning how to cook or you've been doing it for years, it's inevitable that you'll make a fair share of mistakes in the kitchen. I definitely have. It happens when we're in a rush, feeling a little bit lazy, or something you're just simply new to the kitchen. My goal is to help you become a better cook by knowing how to avoid some of the most common errors and learn what you should be doing in the kitchen. Number 1, not reading the entire recipe before cooking. There's nothing worse than getting halfway through a recipe and realizing you're missing a few ingredients. I am very guilty of this. One day I tried to surprise Laura by making her this fancy eggs Benedict for breakfast. I ended up needing her to go to the store not once but twice to get the ingredients. So read the recipe. You will get a better idea of what you will be doing, and you will make sure that you have all of your ingredients. Number 2, using the wrong size cutting board. Sure, those tiny cutting boards are cute, but aside from slicing a few berries or prepping a garnish for a drink, they're not all that useful. Lean towards getting a large cutting board. You will feel more comfortable slicing and chopping, and it's just safer overall. Number 3, using the wrong knife. You might love working with your paring knife, but it's not an all-purpose tool and doesn't work well when tackling large foods. Get a kitchen's knife, a chef's knife. They are an all-purpose tool. You can use them to cut meat, slice fruit, vegetables, minced herbs. Only use those specialty knives when you need to do things like cut bread. Number 4, allowing yourself to work with a messy workspace. Not only will you end up working with less organization and less efficiency, but you'll have when you have a messy workspace, but this puts you at a higher risk for cross-contamination with your food, and that's yucky. So, clean as you go. This allows you to be more organized, and it saves you time in the long run. Number 5, adding ingredients to a cold pan. In most cases, it's better to heat up your pan and then add oil and food. Some people think there are exceptions to this, like adding cold bacon to a pan. I don't really buy that, but it's got some validity. Otherwise, food should never touch a cold pan. Instead of getting a nice sear, the ingredients soak up the oil and are likely to stick to the pan. So, make sure the pan and oil are hot before adding ingredients. This will keep your food from sticking, and it will give your food a nice sear. This is the same idea with preheating an oven. So number 6, cooking meat straight from the fridge. It doesn't matter what you're cooking, it should never go straight from the fridge to a hot pan. The result is a good piece of meat that's overcooked on the outside and undercooked or even raw in the center. So take meat and fish out early. Let it sit at room temperature for about 15 to 20 minutes before cooking. Bringing the proteins to room temperature will allow it to cook more evenly throughout. Number 7, not seasoning as you cook. Forgetting to season your food as you cook will leave you with a dish that's dull. So seasonings are your friend. Seasonings bring out natural flavors of the ingredients. You should season earlier rather than later, and they will also round out the flavors and bring them all together. Seasoning does not mean spicy, at Taylor Bolt. Number 8, overcrowding the pan. When you squeeze too much into the pan, not only does the temperature lower, but there's too much moisture, which results in the food getting steamed instead of seared. This also results in uneven cooking. So give it some space. Use the right size pan for the amount of food you're cooking. Pieces of meat should not touch. Let there be space in between. Lean towards a larger pan or work in batches if needed. Number 9, not tasting the food as you cook. Don't wait until dinner is on the table to give your food a taste and risk unbalanced flavors and lack of seasoning. Taste it always. This will give you the chance to modify what you've created, and don't be afraid to taste again and again and again. Plus, it's the best part about cooking. And finally, number 10, not resting meat after it's cooked. You're hungry and you want to eat, but diving into that steak the second it comes off the grill is a grave mistake. As you cut into it, the juices will run across the cutting board or your plate. This goes for any meat. So, don't let your juices go. After cooking, let your meat rest for at least 5 minutes before cutting. Let the juices have some time to redistribute throughout the meat, This will make for a juicier and more delicious cut of meat. Bonus tip, put tin foil over your resting meat if you're worried about it getting cold. Questions?
What's the difference between a yam and a sweet potato?
Talk to Noah.
Okay, so actually there is a very slight difference between a yam and a sweet potato. And basically they're the same thing.